Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going on?
Dude, we have an episode today that we have been wanting to do for a while.
My God.
You have been kind of bringing it up, and you're like, we got to do this, we got to do this. So now we're going to finally get to it.
I know. Well, I actually this was kind of like one of the topics that I talked about doing since
Day one.
day one, since
Yeah.
before we ever even started recording. But I wanted to, gather uh detailed data
Yeah.
and information. And actually it's kind of funny because like the longer we wait, the more of these things that come up.
It becomes more pertinent.
Like what we're talking about is coincidences.
Coincidence or conspiracy?
Yeah, and
Is
how
it just a coincidence or is there something going on
I
here?
know, and how many coincidences seem to happen all the time with like every world disaster or like,
What was that quote you just read
suicide.
about the root of the word,
Well, this is
the
so cool.
predicate of the word?
This is so cool. So my a friend of mine, um, I didn't know this was her original quote, but I think this is so clever. She says, there's no such thing as a coincidence because if you look at the word more closely, therein lies the word coincide.
Coincide. So that
Mhm.
means they're existing together. It could be conspiring.
Right. So I find that really perfect and appropriate because um, I don't know, like when there's a lot of coincidences around a lot of different things, is it really a coincidence?
Well,
I don't believe in
I don't believe in
in coincidence.
coincidences. I don't
Yeah.
think I do. I
Yeah.
think, like it'd be like you just bump into that dude that you haven't seen in 25 years. And it's not a coincidence.
Mm,
You bumped into
maybe.
that person for a reason.
Okay.
Maybe there was some reason they came back into your life, something you guys talked about, but I don't think there's coincidence. I think that life is meaningful and that destiny is real
Mm-hmm.
and that you are where you're supposed to be.
Horoscope.
Like the horoscope.
Yeah.
You're where you're supposed to be.
I think there's some truth to that, and
Now,
maybe a lot of truth to that.
some people might say, no, that's just a freak occurrence. Like, you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, long time ago.
So, remember Samuel Jackson and John Travolta? They're going to scare the kids because they were, I guess, kind of moving in on their territory and drug dealing deal,
Mm.
whatever. Everything with Quentin Tarantino was like the gangsters.
Right.
They're all part of the
I
mob.
think that that's like his sort of like dream life that he wanted to
And
live.
yeah,
You know what I
it's his wet dream.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who lives that like dangerous lifestyle
In
and
his head.
he's in the mob, right? In his head, right? So anyways, so they go in and the one guy's hiding in the bathroom and he comes out and shoots at him, but then all the bullets miss.
Coincidence.
And so now Samuel Jackson and John Travolta are at the diner and they're talking about the incident. And Samuel Jackson is saying, I want you to acknowledge the miracle that we witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
And what does John Travolta say? I witnessed a freak occurrence. You witnessed a miracle. I witnessed a freak occurrence. That was a coincidence. The guy just happened to miss us with 5 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Samuel Jackson saying, no, the Lord stepped in and now I'm changing my life. I'm going to go just walk the earth like Cain because the Lord stepped in. So, kind of like, remember our Bible episode?
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? I said it really comes down to what you believe.
Right. That's true. I mean, like, so I don't know. There could be some small coincidences that happen, like maybe you show up at a party or something wearing a certain red shirt, and your friend shows up wearing the same red shirt. That could be a coincidence.
That could be a
You know what I
coincidence.
mean?
Or it could have been meant to be.
It could
Maybe
have
there
been,
was something going on there.
right?
Maybe you and that person are somehow in the same wavelength,
Well, so this happens to me
feeding out the same
a
stimuli.
lot. This happens to me a lot. And I don't know, I kind of think I have some psychic tendencies, but like, I'm sure this happens to a lot of people, but you'll be thinking about somebody, and then, like, within a couple minutes, like, you get a text or a phone call from that person.
Yeah,
So I think there's something to that. And I think
you'll
there's,
do that with me.
yeah.
You and I have kind of that kind of psychic connection. Like I was listening to one of our episodes the other day, and you go, "Let me finish your point," or
Was
like,
that very presumptuous of me?
no, but it was kind of like
I'm just going to finish your point for
I
you.
was just thinking, like, or there's other times where I'll go pick up the phone to text you,
Hmm.
and I'll get a text message from you.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of on the same
Wavelength.
page, same wavelength,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
on certain things. Like when we start thinking about the show, maybe we're in the same. So
Yeah. There's like energy out there.
I don't know. I think it comes down to how you want to perceive things.
How you want. Yeah. So I guess basically what our point is, are coincidences really coincidences? And when we start looking into a lot of these world events and disasters and things that have happened throughout history, there's always like a coincidence involved that they try to play it off as this event happening, and these other events that took place at the same time or that like tied into this are all were all just very coincidental. There was no meaning to it.
Yeah.
They were all just very coincidental. So
The
um
news does that.
mhm.
What they kind of do, remember I told you about the girl and she sits you down and she goes, "You're not hot. You're not hot. You're not attractive. So let me tell you, this is how you're going to process that data. You're going to still be a nice person and you're going to just learn to be very, very thankful for platonic relationships. And when we all go have sex, you're going to go home by yourself, but you're going to be happy about that." So that's kind of how the news does. The news comes and says, "No, no, no, no. That's a coincidence. The
Mhm.
takeaway that you're going to have, these incidents took place." And I
But they have
know
nothing to do with that.
no, there's nothing to do with the fact that Larry Silverstein got a insurance policy on the 9/11 buildings like 6 months before they went down, and just happened to get paid out billions of dollars after 9/11. That's just a coincidence. So when the news tells you that, they say you're not hot, and here's how to deal with it. That's a coincidence. He just happened to get an insurance policy, and it paid out billions of dollars. Lucky him.
So, since you brought up 9/11, should we start with that one?
Let's start with
Let's start
9/11.
with
There's a few
9/11.
coincidences there.
We're going to talk about a few of them. So,
So Larry Silverstein's the most prominent one in my opinion.
yeah, he owns those buildings, right?
So he acquires the buildings, including Building 7, which remember it came down like the next day.
That was weird.
And they're like, "Well, there's fires." So let's just unpack that. So the news just said, "Well, yeah, there's fire." So the whole building collapses on itself
Yeah.
because there's some fires in
Like,
some of the upper
it
rooms.
seems like those buildings probably were had to go under very strict like engineering and design guidelines and probably all kinds of codes and stuff to like build a building like that. And I
I'm
wouldn't
pretty
think
sure
they would just like crumble.
they crumble from
Yeah.
a fire in like the 81st floor.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that's totally a coincidence is that all the buildings on 9/11, they collapsed in the exact same fashion that controlled demolitions in Las Vegas take place.
Right. They just like went down, straight down.
Just like the Sands in 1971. It's
Yeah.
like, that's just a coincidence, though. Nothing to see here.
Right.
And you're a bad person. Actually, what the news even says is you're not hot, be in a good mood. They say you are not, do not start connecting dots.
Yeah. Don't even go there.
Because then Dr. Fauci comes out. What does he say? He goes, "If we start letting these conspiracy theories talk, you can kiss civilization bye-bye."
Right.
So they don't even want you connecting the dots.
No.
They want you to just go, "Wow, that's a really interesting coincidence."
Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. So this guy, Silverstein, who owns the buildings, he takes out this huge insurance policy
On
right
terrorism.
on terrorism specifically. Like right before this whole thing happens.
Can I have another blue pill,
Interesting,
please?
interesting that would happen. That so it just so happens that he, when these buildings crumble, he's covered and he's paid out billions of dollars.
Billions.
Billions.
I think it was like to the tune of like $7.5 billion. Like his family.
So he profited off of the whole catastrophe.
And it was kind of like, remember, it was kind of a coincidence during the Pacific Palisades fires where, like, oh, dude, my house burnt down to a crisp.
Yeah.
But my insurance company notified me a week before that we no longer provide fire insurance.
Right. So that was a coincidence.
That's
too.
a coincidence.
That happened to a lot of people right before their houses burned down.
But Larry Silverstein has that kind of thing happen, but it just happens to be the flip side of that. Very, very beneficial to him.
Totally. Yeah. And also I remember reading about on the floor where like it seems like the explosion took place. I mean there it was empty and there was like this group of artists living there supposedly.
Happen to be from that country from 1948, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Another coincidence.
They were students from that country from 1948 that are messing around on the floors where the airplane, quote unquote, hits.
Yeah.
What?
Coincidence?
It's, well, you're not supposed to connect the dots. You're not hot. Be a platonic friend and be happy about it.
It's almost like they like give us this those old connect the dot things that we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
It's like they give us like these big ones of that and they say don't connect them. Do not connect the dots. Here's all the dots, but don't connect them.
What I want you to do is just color randomly.
Because it would probably spell out like we did it or something.
I'd be like, when my daughter was like 4, she loved coloring.
Yeah.
I would get her coloring books like every day. And she would like complete the whole thing. Wow. And I'd be like, oh, you're done. Okay, here's another one. But it'd be like if I gave her a dot to dot.
Yeah, don't connect them.
Don't connect those. You just color.
We don't want you to connect that.
That's bad.
Yeah.
What if I taught her as bad?
Yeah.
That's what the news is kind of teaching us. They're kind of, you're not as bad. You're connecting those dots. And then the baby girl goes, well, wait a second. It's a 1, then a 2, then a 3. And it's like, I understand that you're seeing a connection there.
And if I connect them, it turns into a pony.
So then, have you heard this? So this is a Kool-Aid that's like put out there. And it's like, so no. That's a condition that you have. You have a mental problem. So what it is some people will it's a human trait where you start to see a pattern in random events.
Yeah.
You have a psychosis.
You're psychotic.
Yeah.
If you see a pattern
you
there.
see a pattern. Larry Silverstein just happened to get a policy on terrorism 6 months before 9/11, and you're just happening to see like a connection there.
Yeah. So there's something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you.
That you know what?
You have a psychosis.
That's total gaslighting.
Yeah.
They're telling you what you're seeing with your own eyes is not what's happening and you shouldn't pay attention to it.
I'm Ingrid Bergman.
Yes.
I'm Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah.
My husband is telling me I'm not turning the gaslight down.
The government is your husband.
Yeah.
The manipulative, abusive husband.
And what does the husband do? Because back then, you could just have your wife locked up. She's an insane person.
Right.
She needs to go away to whatever the insane asylum because she thinks that I'm turning the gas down, which I am.
Yeah, totally.
So, that's what's going on. The media is controlled by the same people who are doing the conspiracy.
Yeah. So that's kind of a problem too. Is that another coincidence?
And that's just a coincidence.
Is that a coincidence that the media is controlled by the same people who also control Big Shawarma?
Big Shawarma.
The music industry, Hollywood, politics, government. It's all controlled.
You forgot education.
Education, that's a big one.
They have a stronghold on our kids.
Yeah.
They have a stronghold on everything our kids see.
Is it a coincidence that all of those things are controlled by
That country from 1948? No, it's a
Yeah.
coincidence. And you are a bad person for connecting those
You
dots.
are a bad person. And those people actually are trying to make it like a law that you can't connect those dots or even suggest or question it. And
Trump says you'll be put to death.
yeah, it's like illegal to even question that.
Yeah.
Even though, so we're making this assumption because we're noticing and we're not supposed to notice or question, but like,
No, I gave the coloring book to my daughter. She's 4. And I said, do not connect the dots. And she's going, but wait, 1, 2, 3. It says the numbers right there.
yeah,
And look, it's making a bunny when I connect them. You're bad. You're grounded.
yeah, totally. I mean, so look what we don't really know what happened with the Charlie Kirk thing. We're still trying to figure that out and we probably never will. But
Well, it's just a coincidence that he said stuff about that country from 1948 and gets killed.
right.
That's a coincidence too.
That seems to happen a lot too.
That happens.
It happens coincidentally. And probably we're bad for, just kind of like noticing that that happens.
It's kind of like Ben Shapiro. Remember, so they finally divulged the JFK documents.
Uh-huh.
And everything's a big reveal except everything that has to do with that country from 1948.
Yeah.
That's not revealed.
That's not
That's all redacted.
And it's all there were a lot of like blacked out lines, like big sections that were blacked out in the big reveal. So we could be
You know what I was thinking?
some of it, but not like certain parts of it.
Those redactions, because I've smoked a lot of marijuana, those redactions are like my memory.
Oh,
Like when
right.
I'm looking back on my past, I have like big
You got
redactions.
redactions. I don't remember what happened here.
What happened in 1993 that one day? Well, I have redaction, and then a little bit of data, and then redaction. But I think that's kind of how the JFK documents were. But remember Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
What did he say?
What did he say?
He's like, why are we even focusing on this? It happened 65 years ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So we should just forget about it. Not learn from
We
history.
don't need to be focusing on this.
Yeah. Like just move on, get past it, don't question it.
Because he's in the Culture Club.
Mm-hmm.
And the Culture Club is saying, yeah, we killed Kennedy. Stop talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's Kennedy.
Okay, so Kennedy.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about all the 9/11 ones because there's a whole litany of them, but we could probably talk about 9/11 for like 3 hours. And I've heard people talk about 9/11 for 3 hours.
Well, we might just do a whole separate episode.
And you know what? It gets to the point where you go, I get it.
Yeah.
And I don't need to have all the data because there's so many anomalies. But JFK, it's the same thing.
Yeah, there's so many anomalies with all these things.
Yeah.
But, they're just like brushed off as coincidences.
Stop connecting the dots and you're grounded.
So let's talk about Kennedy.
So Kennedy. Well, so one thing I noticed about Kennedy is it seemed like he wanted a gold-backed dollar and didn't want to have the Federal Reserve.
Right. He did not want that.
That's a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. He also didn't want Vietnam.
He didn't want Vietnam. That's a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to splinter the CIA and the FBI.
Right.
That's a coincidence that he got killed and said that.
He said those things and then he got killed.
Yeah, that's a coincidence.
And then coincidentally, right after he got shot,
yes,
that guy
LBJ.
No, we'll talk about him in a second. No, the strip club owner.
Oh yes,
Jack Ruby,
the Jewish strip club owner,
just shows up on the scene with a gun. He's able to get right there and just happens to shoot the so-called assassin,
the patsy, the one that was totally clearly MK Ultra, and the same
may
story.
have been the first MK Ultra.
He may have been the first.
Yeah,
he may have been one of the pioneers. But it's always the same story. They always Oswald kind of feels like that 20-year-old kid that supposedly shot Kirk. It's like this guy with that kind of looks retarded. He's kind of got a 10,000-yard stare, and the government's going, "Whoa, we've been in touch with him."
Yeah, just like Sirhan, who supposedly killed RFK.
Yeah.
So exactly. This guy Jack Ruby shows up with a gun and just happens to take this guy out. So there's no
ties up loose ends
because that ride at Disneyland, Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
I always remember that.
And then it's always just a coincidence, too, when I think about Jack Ruby. Like, because what the official narrative from the media
Hmm.
no, no, no. Jack Ruby is just a Jewish strip club owner that really cares about this country, and he was passionate about
He
Kennedy.
took it in his own hands to get rid of that assassin.
When they killed Kennedy, that was such an affront to his high quality of morals and values that was an affront. He
Right.
had to go deal with that,
He had to, and he was able to.
and he was
Like,
able to.
even after the president of the United States was assassinated, like on live TV, this
Yes.
man was able to get right up there
Mhm.
in the front spot and shoot the perpetrator.
Remember, we talked about the footage. You've seen the footage?
Uh-huh.
Have you seen the footage yet?
Uh-huh. I
Okay,
have.
so you did.
Mhm.
The footage is really funny.
Mhm.
He literally just walks right up to Oswald and shoots him point blank range. So that seems that's a
It's
coincidence.
a coincidence, and
That is not staged.
ironic that this man could just get so close to the scene.
And they've got Cooter and Wayne walking him. There's these two white trash cops. That, like, this guy just shot Connolly and Kennedy. So he's carried out one of the most heinous crimes in American history. But there's just two white trash kind of ignorant cops walking him,
Yeah.
perp walking him.
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence.
Right.
You're a bad person
I know.
for even thinking there's anything fishy going on. But then we haven't even talked about LBJ.
Well, yeah, LBJ. So he just happens to become the president then after that, and he wanted all those things that Kennedy did not want.
Yeah, he just happens to be perfect for that country for 1948.
Yeah.
He puts the Great Society in place, and the Great Society is his plan. So the Great Society is kind of like the answer to FDR's New Deal.
Oh, okay.
So what it is these economic relief packages,
Hmm.
essentially. But these economic relief packages, they're all Orwellian. They've got these names that sound like they're for the benefit of the people,
Right.
but they're actually these toxic policies that destroy the country.
So they've been doing that for a long time.
The Great
They
Society was toxic.
they name something to make it sound like it's going to be really helpful to all of us little minions, but actually it's going to be
Like,
our
for
demise.
instance, do you remember Winston? He has to go and talk with O'Brien. Where do they go? They go to the Ministry of Love.
Hmm.
What happens in the Ministry of Love? Torture.
Right.
So that's kind of Orwellian.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a little misleading that you
Yeah.
call the department the Ministry of Love and you torture people.
Exactly.
Well, the Great Society wasn't creating a great society, it was destroying our society.
Exactly.
So that was what LBJ just happens to, it's a coincidence.
It is.
But, JFK gets killed, he gets sworn in and runs the country for the rest of the 60s. He
Hmm.
ran the country until 1969.
Mm. And what about another coincidence involving JFK?
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
She dies in 1962, which is right in the middle of his presidency.
Hmm.
And there's some speculation that they had kind of a thing going on.
I think they did.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and then she gets unalived.
She just gets unalive. She kind of did a Brittany Murphy.
Yeah,
She kind of got voted off the island.
right. Yeah.
Brittany Murphy got voted off the island.
There's a lot of famous people who seem to die in very suspicious circumstances.
Brittany Murphy died of pneumonia.
Yeah.
And then it's like
She's like
she's like
30 years.
30 years old and looks great.
Yeah.
But pneumonia just takes her out.
Right. And that was unusual because you and her husband was kind of like suspicious, I think, in that too.
He was kind of a regular dude, if I remember.
But
He married somebody that wasn't in the industry.
yeah, but I think he might have been her handler because he kind of acted like it was whatever, no big deal.
He was in the culture club.
Yeah.
I think if you're married to somebody in the culture club, you're not allowed to nap.
Right. So a lot of these people become unalived, and usually it's suicide. It's usually suicide.
You know what I've learned? I trust no cause of death anymore.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't the bullet go all the way through Charlie Kirk's neck?
Exactly.
Look, it just lodged in there.
Oh,
did you hear the story?
Yeah.
Well, it's because he's got gnarly bones.
He's like the Man of Steel.
He's kind of like Captain America, where like even his bone structure is just fortified with heroism.
Right. He's like Superman.
He's like a hero.
He's made of steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are supposed to believe that.
So the bullet comes in, kills him perfectly, and lodges in there. I don't
Right.
know. I mean, I don't know a lot about logistics, but it seems like a bullet traveling that fast is probably going to travel right through a neck.
Hmm.
Even if it hits your vertebra, the vertebra is not going to stop a bullet.
Yeah.
It'll just go through the vertebra.
Yeah.
But apparently, it just lodged in his neck because he's fortified with just gnarly hero bones.
Because he was protected. God was protecting all of the other people around him.
It's a coincidence like the Trump shooting. Because remember, Trump, he's a clean bleeder.
Yeah. Our leader is a clean bleeder.
Trump's a clean bleeder. So Trump gets no blood on his white, starch white, fight, fight, fight. He gets no blood. And
That would be too messy.
and Charlie Kirk, the bullet stops in the neck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. They don't, none of it's really messy.
It's
Have you
not
noticed
messy.
that?
It's nice and clean.
Like they don't have like brains splattered everything. I think back when
When JFK,
JFK got killed,
there was some brain.
they didn't have it quite dialed in yet. You know what I mean?
Like
So
if you ever watch the Bruder film,
messier.
like Jackie O is like literally climbing on the trunk of the car and like gathering his brain.
Oh God.
Which is weird because Oswald was supposed to be behind him, so why is she gathering brain from the back of the car? But that's a coincidence.
That was also a coincidence. Yeah.
It's a coincidence that brain squirted out the back of his brain.
Well, it seems to work that way. Like even with the Charlie Kirk thing, like he was supposedly shot from like the front side like angle, right? But yet there was no blood coming from when they show the like his view, there's no blood. And it looks like the blood
Yeah.
would have come from a different spot too. So
Blood's another coincidence. Like there was no blood at Sandy Hook shooting.
interesting.
You ever seen the video of that? And then also the other new one that blood was kind of like it's a coincidence and shut up was the Christchurch shooting down in New Zealand, which was a few years ago.
Yeah.
So that guy wrote a whole manifesto, goes into a mosque and kills a bunch of Muslims. Bad white guy, those xenophobic actions against those poor Muslims. So that was the narrative. There was no blood. So this guy goes and massacres all these people, but then they show video and
There's no blood.
there's people laying down, but there's no blood. It seems like if you got shot and killed, you'd probably bleed.
There'd probably be a little bit of blood.
You know what they are? They're like Bishop from Alien.
They're clean bleeders.
They're clean bleeders. So that was a coincidence.
Yeah.
So well, there's a lot of weird coincidences about JFK.
Yeah. There's also a lot of coincidences around like Hillary. You know Hillary?
Hillary Clinton?
Yeah. It seems like a lot of the people around her have committed suicide.
By shooting themselves in the head twice?
Yeah. Some of them shoot themselves in the head twice with a shotgun. It's really hard to do.
One dude
and then
was
they
gnarly.
hit themselves.
There was one dude who, I don't know how he did this to himself. So he shot himself with a shotgun twice and then chopped himself up and put himself in a suitcase and moved himself to some apartment building in Hermosa Beach.
That was
wow. It's like, well, wait, how did he do that? Dude, he after he died was like working hard and doing a lot of chores.
He was supernatural.
So it's kind of a coincidence. What we're told is you're not hot and learn to be platonic friend and be happy about it. Exactly. That's what the news is telling you.
Yeah.
Because Hillary's got all kinds of weird stuff. How about Hillary, the other one? What's that one chick who wears she wears like the Muslim garb? Aberdeen or Huma?
Are you talking about the politician?
She's married to one of these like Pizzagate guys.
She's married to her brother. Are you talking about that one?
No, that's the other one from she's the one that's from Somalia.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but she's one of the squad. Remember, she's in the squad with AOC and everything. Yeah. No. This one is Huma Aberdeen or something like that, and she was married to Wiener. And he had a big sex scandal. And he was like sending dick pics to a 16-year-old, and it didn't work out good.
No,
but his wife
is like buddies with Hillary,
always hanging out with her.
Yeah,
and it was weird.
It is weird.
Like, what the hell is going on there?
Coincidence.
It's just a coincidence. Did you know that Hillary? This is the word around the campfire.
Okay.
She was a lawyer back in Arkansas back in like the 70s.
Huh.
That was how her and Bill kind of got into politics, right?
Mm.
So she was a lawyer, and I think he might have been a lawyer too,
Yeah, I think so.
which is kind of disgusting. Like lawyers
They
run
all
our country.
start, I know, they kind of all start out like that.
I trust zero lawyers.
I know.
So, anyways, she's a lawyer, and her first case, which got her into the Culture Club, so she got into the Culture Club,
Mhm.
and Satan was like, "Good, good, good. No, you're inner sanctum. You're inner sanctum."
I think she worked hard to get into the culture club.
She
I
did.
think she really wanted in.
She
And
wanted
now
it.
she's kind of like Satan's minion.
So, like, her first client was she got a guy off for raping a girl so bad that her insides literally came out.
Oh my God.
He raped her so bad
That's horrific.
that her insides came out. And so she defends this monster and
Ugh.
gets him acquitted. And the evidence was stacked against him, apparently,
All
where
just to win a case.
and the Culture Club goes, good, good, good. Now you can come on. See, I think what it is that if you go do something egregious and evil, then they have emotional blackmail on you. They can just
Right.
be like, if you step out of line, excuse me, here, remember? Satan had a conversation with her a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, good, good, good. And so Hillary and Bill sat down with Satan. And Satan said, "You guys, do you want to be powerful people?" And they're like, "Yes." "Will you sell your soul?" "Yes." "Good, good, good. Okay, so you guys sell your soul. So, Hillary, your first thing that you're gonna have to do is you're gonna be the defense attorney for this guy that raped this girl so bad that her insides came out, and you're gonna get him acquitted. And then once you do that, then we'll know that we can control you for the rest of your life." So that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's just a
I think
coincidence.
that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, and then he goes, okay, no problem. See, what I've noticed is most Americans are like this.
Hmm.
They'll do anything for money and power.
It's true.
They'll do anything.
It's kind of sad.
And that's why there's lots of coincidences.
I know.
Because when you'll do anything for money and power, you might kill somebody.
Yeah.
You might,
Yeah.
or you might do something egregious, you know? Like, what are some other coincidences that have happened? Like, uh, how about like Jeffrey Epstein?
That's a more recent one.
That's a more recent one,
Let's talk about that for a minute
you know?
because so there's a lot of coincidences around his whole life. Like he just happens to be hired as a university professor without like really any qualifications for the job. He's
He's
like,
got opaque funds.
yeah, he's sort of like positioned, a lot of these people are just placed in these positions of power where it's not really clear how they got there.
Mm,
They just sort of get these jobs and these powerful positions and it's like,
my name is Karen Bass, and I'm an ugly lesbian that's pretty retarded, but I
I'm the
run
mayor.
LA.
I'm the mayor of LA. Yeah.
I run LA. Yeah. So do you think that Karen Bass just navigated those political waters and was just very adept at it, or was she placed there?
I think a lot of these people are placed there. So Jeffrey Epstein was placed in a lot of different areas and
Nobody knows how he became a billionaire.
he just became a billionaire somehow.
He's got opaque funds.
Yeah, and he seems to have all these ties to all these young girls that somehow gets together with all these powerful men. Well, then, when he gets arrested in jail, coincidentally, when he was found dead, supposedly by suicide, very convenient.
And he just happens to have dirt on a bunch of powerful people, nothing to see here.
The guards were asleep and the cameras were off right at that moment.
That happens.
So nobody can actually like look at the tape to see how he actually killed him.
And he was on suicide watch. And when they have prisoners on suicide watch, they give them a paper blanket, which is you can't hang yourself with it.
Well, he was able to do that.
He was able to do it.
It was
He might have taken a blue pill.
Maybe it was like Bounty paper towels. You know how those are really strong.
Exactly. Well, I was thinking maybe he was depressed. He was in jail, so he took a he took a big
Big
shawarma.
shawarma.
He took a big shawarma, and so he took big shawarma, and the big shawarma made him go hang himself by a doorknob. So he did. Maybe that's what happened to him.
Maybe.
But I don't think so. I think it's just very coincidental that somebody who has dirt on a bunch of powerful people just happens to die while the cameras are off and the guards are sleeping
I think
in a maximum security
it's
prison.
a pretty big coincidence that those things that just happened to happen right when he did
Well,
the
like let's unpack that for a second.
yeah.
So you get a job as a guard at a maximum security prison. Pretty much your job is to stay awake. That's
Yeah.
your job.
That's like one of the key parts to your
You
job.
kind of got to do that.
Yeah.
You can't fall asleep on your job.
Yeah.
Your job is security. So you need to be watching the monitors at all
You
times.
might have to drink a lot of coffee.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Drink a Monster Energy drink, dude. They work. And he's just like, no, no, I'm just gonna nod off here for a little while.
But I think there were two of them.
We both, yeah,
They both got really
you
maybe
know what?
they had a really big lunch.
You know what it was? Is like once he fell asleep, I just kind of like power suggestion. I kind of fell asleep. And then you know what's really coincidental though? This is what's really coincidental. So I mean, what we just talked about, we were kind of laughing about that, right?
Mhm.
So both guards fall asleep.
Mhm.
It's not like, well, okay, first of all, your job is security guard. You fall asleep.
Right.
But the other guy falls asleep too.
Yeah. And the cameras are off.
Oh, that was what I was gonna say.
Just right at that
So
moment.
the cameras just happen to not work too. So so Rikers Island is a maximum security prison. So basically, that's their business model: is they house the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But the cameras break down and the security guards sleep.
Well,
So I want to go there because that you might be able to escape pretty easily.
I know. Escape Rikers Island.
I guess.
So
I mean, just wait for the guards to fall asleep and the cameras go down.
and it's weird because like the cameras seemed to have been working like prior to that and after that, like the whole day. It wasn't like the cameras were off for like 8 hours or something.
No, no,
They
no.
happened to be working perfectly fine like all the rest of the time, but just
Yeah,
at that one key moment, it was like they were off for like a minute.
it's such a
It
coincidence.
was a coincidence. And you know another coincidence? Did you did you hear that there was a photographer for the New York Times that just happened to be right outside the building right when they were wheeling his body out? And that's who got the pictures.
Did he also get the 9/11 and the Trump assassination
Um,
shooting?
I don't know if that's what happened or not,
Because
but
that's another thing. There's another photographer who you were telling me about him. He just happened to get 9/11 shots,
oh right.
but then just coincidence, he just happened to also be at the Trump shooting.
Yeah, that same photographer.
Mhm.
Yes, maybe he's like a really popular photographer.
You know who it is?
What?
It's kind of like David Hogg.
Right,
And
David Hogg.
my name's David Hogg, and I just happen to show up at school shootings.
Yeah. It's just coincidental. It's like, wow, if you see that guy, you better run because you know there's going to be a shooting.
Dude, if you're in 11th grade and you see David Hogg, you
Get
should
out.
just ditch that day.
Yeah.
Even if you got straight A's. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. We get told by the news, you're not hot, and just learn to be happy.
You know, another coincidence I think we forgot to mention about 9/11. This is like one that I find really, really comedic. Those dancers, the Israeli dancers, and the passports.
The passports. Oh, the
The
passports is awesome.
passports.
Well,
Like
so let's unpack the
literally,
Israelis.
okay.
So the Israelis are seen by the lady. So she's the neighbor.
Yeah,
So she's a bad
she's
person.
the spokesperson.
So she's the one, she's my daughter. I give her a dot to dot and I say, don't connect the dots.
Yeah.
She starts connecting the dots. She's a bad person. She goes, wait a second. So 9/11 is taking place. And it's such a spectacular event that people in Jersey are able to watch it like it's like a show.
Right.
So she's watching these buildings burn. And then there's these four Israelis on a van that's like, ay, 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 ay. You know, it's like, well, wait a second. How did they know to go and post themselves up in that perfect place
Right.
and at the perfect time?
Yeah.
You're just a bad person. They just happened to be having like some baklava
Yeah.
and just went outside and saw, and then they just happened to be really happy about the fact that the building came down.
Totally.
That's all it was. It's just a coincidence.
And the coincidence around the passports, they found the passports of the perpetrators, the people that did the deed. They found
My
those,
name is Muhammad Atta.
they found like all their passports just uh, coincidentally a few blocks away. So in the midst of all this rubble and these buildings that just like crumbled to the ground, they were able to find perfectly intact passports of the people that did the deed.
This is the guy who did it.
Yeah. The case
I
closed.
just found his passports over here on the street 3
So we know
blocks away.
we know this is the guy that
This
did
is
it.
the guy.
All four of these guys.
Otherwise, his passport wouldn't be right here.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what's really weird?
how do people not question this?
My dad, before he passed away, he was funny. My dad was really funny, and my my family has a friend of the family that comes over sometimes, and the one dude's got. Um, you ever seen dudes who have pock face? They got pox,
Yeah,
and so they just have all these big like divots in their face.
right.
Muhammad Atta, one of the hijackers,
Uh-huh.
he had that.
Uh-huh.
So me and my dad used to call this guy Muhammad Atta
No.
because he had the pock faces. Because Muhammad Atta, dude, have you ever seen a picture of that guy?
No.
He's not hot.
Yeah.
He's just not a good looking dude. He's got a crazy MK Ultra stare, and he's got those pocks all over his face. I don't know. I guess that's when you have really bad acne when you're a
I
kid.
think so. It's kind of sad.
So whenever I see dudes who have that, I call them Muhammad Atta.
It's terrible.
It is pretty bad.
But yeah, I think the passport thing is one of the most outrageous stories that they get people to believe. Like, does anybody actually believe that? Like
Yeah,
a child would question that.
it
A
doesn't
young
matter.
child would question that.
Well, what if we talked about blue pill people?
They
What?
believe total contradictions.
They believe total contradictions.
Yeah.
And they just go, okay,
Okay. The news told me, so okay.
okay. You know why? Because it is too risky of a behavior to question what the news tells you.
Hmm.
Because now you're running afoul of the culture club.
Right.
And what happens if you run afoul of the culture club these days? They have triple M's to the P who are micromanaging everything at the ground level. You will be eliminated
Yeah.
from culture.
I mean, they are actually trying to do this with like implementing laws on free speech, calling it hate speech or whatever,
Yeah.
and putting in digital surveillance everywhere, digital money. They're actually, trying to make your thoughts illegal, I think.
Like in the UK, where
You
the
know?
dude texted something that basically said, I think we should just deport all these third world barbarians, which I think is sound policy.
Yeah.
Dude, if we just deport third world barbarians, dude, society's going to get a lot better. So it was sound.
Yeah.
It was actually a good thing.
It's a good idea.
He went to jail.
How can you go to jail for saying something?
That's the
You
new
know
rules.
what I mean?
That's the new rules. The
Yeah.
culture club is saying, no, we're done.
Well, what's their first rule?
Shut up. You know,
You know
what do
what?
we say? What do we say? When you join the culture club, they give you a business card. What's the business card say?
Shut up.
That's it.
I think this is a good spot to pause, and I think we're going to do part 2 of
Let's
coincidences
do it.
in another episode. Then the next episode, I think I want to talk about the Titanic.
Let's do it.
Should we take a little road?
Before we end, I want to just say one thing though. Have you ever seen that movie Fight Club with Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Remember, what's the first rule of Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club.
That sounds like the Culture Club.
What if Fight Club is an analogy for the culture club? Because that guy David Fincher who did that movie, he's so in the culture
Totally.
club.
Yeah.
Anyways, maybe that wasn't as profound as I thought.
That was a good one. but yeah, stick with us. Stay tuned because we're gonna pick up part 2.
Yes.
We're gonna pick up part 2.
Because coincidences are so omnipresent that we can't just cover it in one episode.
No, coincidences coincidentally are
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's kind of a coincidence.
It is a coincidence.
All right.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.